Hey guys, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday. I hope everybody is doing great and you've got a wonderful weekend ahead. I am still dealing with whatever this is. I took some cold medicine before coming on here, so hopefully I can get through this. As we know, Kylie's report came out yesterday and it was ruled an accident, which I think we all expected. And we're going to go over a bit of that and a bit of the Truckee way and just talk about a few different possibilities. And if you want to see the full report, Plunder did a great video yesterday going over all 18 pages. You can go to her page here on YouTube. It's Plunder, and in the title it says something about Kylie Rodney 18-page report. It's easy to find, and she did a great job. I can go over it in a video for you as well. If you want me to do that, just leave it in the comments and we can do that at a later time. I just wanted to get through this today. Like I said, you probably noticed I haven't been feeling well and my voice is kind of in and out, so I thought we would just kind of go over some generalities today and just talk about where we're at. As far as I know, there will still be a November 1st presser about this. The only new information I foresee coming out in that is hopefully the California Highway Patrol's accident report. It was not included in that 18 pages. I reached out to Nevada County and they got back to me really quickly, so I'm supposed to be receiving copies of all the reports that are filed that are associated with this case, so we'll see. So, one part of the autopsy, they talked about she was found in the cargo area. One of her legs, it sounds like it was maybe extended over the back seats, and then the rest of her was in the cargo area. Obviously, we knew there was going to be bloating, discoloration, things of that nature, just due to the amount of time and decomp. She was fully clothed. She had the bodysuit on, black briefs, the green pants, the belt. The belt was buckled. Shoes, socks, jewelry. They found the 3 necklaces. They found, I think it was 5 bracelets, her earrings, her nose ring, her belly button ring, an anklet, things like that. They did not have the hoodie listed, so I'm guessing she was not wearing the hoodie, but from the footage, it looked like the Odd Future hoodie was in the car, if you remember. So it sounds like, you know, she wasn't in the greatest of shape, obviously. They found no external signs of injury. They didn't find on the internal exam anything significant. There were no broken bones, no signs of trauma, no signs of SA. Apparently she was having her period. I don't know why we needed to know that, but she had one of those Diva cups in and an IUD, so she was not pregnant. I know a lot of people had been asking about that. It sounds like she was not. What else? I guess the main thing everybody's talking about is the tox. Now, in the tox, nothing here really surprises me, y'all. I mean, it's pretty much what we would expect from everything that we've heard. Like I said, it's pretty much what we would expect to find, right? So there's ethanol, and the result is 88 milligrams. We're going to talk more about what that means later. And nicotine, caffeine, cotinine, which is a byproduct of nicotine, and delta 9 carboxy THC, which we know would be pot. So none of that is super surprising. They got this from her liver tissue, and testing requested. They wanted more testing done, post-mortem expanded tissue forensics. So I'm hoping that they do these expanded tests. I would be curious to see a lot more. There were tests done for benzos and things like that, to confirm if there was cocaine. And I want to look at that a little closer because I'm not clear. The way I read it, it appeared that there was cocaine in her system, but I just want to clarify before I go into that any deeper. As far as the alcohol, the ethanol level, let me see. So that at the top, you see it says 0.08. That's, in the United States, that's our legal limit here. And that would be equivalent to 80 milligrams. So hers was 88. So she would have been slightly above the legal limit, not quite to the next, which is 120 to 150, just slightly over the legal limit. And it says moderate impairment to significant impairment of driving skills, depending on drinking habits, emotional swings, and depression, may be observed in some individuals. Okay. What we need to remember here, though, is that ethanol is a byproduct of decomp. So we don't really know how much of this was actual blood alcohol content due to her consumption versus how much of that ethanol is there as a byproduct of decomposition. With that being said, even if the 88 is from what she drank, she wouldn't have been as impaired as had been described, right? Now, if you go up to the next, which is 120 to 150, motor function, speech, and judgment are all severely affected at this height of blood alcohol. Staggering, slurred speech may be observed. Severe impairment of driving skills. So that sounds more in line with the description that we were giving, that, she was stumbling around, she was having trouble walking, talking, she fell in the hole, things like that. So make of that what you will. It doesn't sound like, even if all of that ethanol is from her drinking, it doesn't sound like she would have been as impaired as was reported. So we're going to talk about the Truckee Way, and I think it kind of helps explain why most of us saw this coming, why it's not a surprise. So I took some excerpts of the Truckee Way. I know a lot of you do know what it is, and I've had quite a few people ask me what it is. So we're just going to touch on it a little bit here today, and I think it will give us an insight into how things work there. So this says the Truckee Way. Since incorporation, the town of Truckee staff and decision makers have embraced a set of operating principles known colloquially as the Truckee Way. The following provides the essence of this philosophy. We will treat everyone and their point of view with respect, courtesy, and fairness. We will approach issues with creativity and innovation. We will conduct ourselves and the town's business according to the highest ethical standards. We will encourage the free exchange of ideas and information by open and honest communication. We believe that non-adversarial dispute resolution results in the most effective community decision maker and employee involvement in the town and its future. That's a big key. Non-adversarial. They don't want arguments, pointing fingers, placing blame. So a set core of values shape the town's approach. And now we're going to go over those. Non-adversarial decision making. The Truckee Way relies on a consensus-seeking decision-making process modeled on the concept of interest-based negotiation developed some years ago by Roger Fisher and William Ury of the Harvard Negotiation Project. Interest-based policy negotiation relies on 6 fundamental principles. Number 1, separate the people from the problem. No personal attacks or assignment of blame. Which, look at this case. Let's look at this case. This one isolated case. No personal attacks. They didn't want anybody questioning these teens' behavior. Assignment of blame. It's an accident. It's nobody's fault that this happened. It's an accident. No blame. Focus on the interests of those involved, not positions they may take. The process looks for a wise outcome that tries to meet multiple interests. An accident, nobody gets in trouble. It doesn't bring negative attention to the town, to the area. It doesn't impact tourism. It's not a blight on their reputation that may cause people to not want to go there. Invent options for mutual gain. Many options will be considered to solve the problem or develop the policy. Options. She was abducted. She's away from here. It was an accident. It was an intentional unaliving. Options. Where nobody can be blamed except in the abduction theory, it was an outsider, right? Remember, all those people were supposed to be at the party from all over the place. It wasn't a Truckee person. No. It was an outsider that did it. Options. Oh, and of course, we had the option that she could have just run away. Number 4, use objective criteria to create and measure potential options and solutions. Entrenched positions, inaccurate or misleading information, and simply the loudest voices will not be the basis for decisions. This just tells me that no matter how loud we are, how loud we were, that there was foul play, they're not interested. They want to come up with options and solutions that are best to them, and everybody else's opinion be damned, right? So, first, listen carefully to understand, then speak to be understood. Listen actively, communicate openly and transparently. Listen carefully to understand. This is what we're going to do. You need to listen. I think had she not been found, they would have gone with the runaway abduction narrative longer, probably. When she was found, it was like, oh crap, this is the reason for the anger towards AWP. Outside interference was not wanted, and when they accomplished what local law enforcement couldn't, everybody was just outraged. They're clout chasers. They're, horrible, awful people. That caused them to have to pivot, and now, okay, it's an accident. We've got to push this accident narrative. Number 6, solutions are built upon establishing trust and working relationships between interested and sometimes opposing participants. So this is basically like, this is the solution to everybody's problem. Your daughter was in an accident, and it's that simple. She just drove in the water. It was an accident. There was nobody to blame here. This is good for the town. This is good for you. Everybody just can move on now and go about their lives. As with any dispute resolution mechanism, applying these principles is not a panacea. It is, however, preferred over the other alternatives available to the town. Applying the Truckee way requires constant recommitment, effort, and learning. The rewards to date have both the town for back up. The rewards to date for both the town and the community have proven well worth the cost. And in this case, the cost was a life. In this case, the cost is justice for that life that was lost. This is all my opinion. You can obviously disagree. Another key part of the Truckee way, which I mentioned in the title of this video, is this, and I'm going to put it up here nice and big for everybody. No surprises. Everyone working for the town and making decisions is committed to a no surprises policy. Early warning of potential problems or upcoming issues is mandatory. To me, this just says, as soon as Kylie went missing, they needed to tell them so they could start working on what they were going to do, the potential problem with that, issues around that, how were they going to cover their ass. No surprises. AWP came in, and that was a surprise when they found her. So that's when we started pushing the accident narrative, right? Because we can't have that in Truckee, can we? Now, I'm not going to put the comments up here, but let's just say Autumn Fragrance has been very active, especially since this came out. She has crossed several lines with me. One being when Jolissa Fuentes was found. She commented that she was surprised Sammy wasn't being blamed for Jolissa's accident. That's just classless. Very poor taste. She, yesterday, commented when this news came out that she would be waiting for my apology to Sammy. So, to me, this new report still does not prove there was no foul play. It does not prove who was driving the car. It does not prove if there was anyone else in the car. It does not prove if anyone saw her go into the water and didn't report it. I'm sorry, Sammy, that you were a shitty friend. I'm sorry that you were encouraging Kylie to drink everything you drank and do the same shots that you were doing. If not for Sammy, Kylie would not have been out that late. Kylie would not have been, as Autumn Fragrance likes to point out, driving illegally after the curfew. Kylie would have been home. Kylie stayed out because Sammy asked her for a ride. She texted her mom to ask her mom if she could get a later curfew so she could take her friend home. As soon as Sammy asked Kylie for a ride, when they got back to the party, she went to find another ride. That's not a good friend. So you encouraged her to stay out later than her curfew. You encouraged her to drink with you. You are 18. You are an adult. I have never said I thought Sammy intentionally did something to Kylie. I have said I think Sammy knows more than what she has said. Her stories do not add up. The timeline doesn't add up. And I would like to know why she's told so many lies. I still think this could have been an accident in the sense that something happened with Kylie that was unintended, but I don't think it's simply Kylie got drunk and drove in the water. It can still be a drowning and be foul play. It, she could have been messed up. Like I said, I need to look at the amount of cocaine and things like that a little closer. But what if she OD'd? What if she just simply passed out in the car and someone else maybe was trying to get her home? She could have still drowned, but there still could have been foul play. Kylie was left. Kylie was let down by a lot of people. A lot of people. It's really sad to sit and think the number of people surrounding her that let her down. Her mom, I feel, is actively letting her down. I feel like Mags let her down. I feel like Sammy let her down. A lot of people let her down. And it's sad. As far as this report goes, we accept is not really the word I'm looking for. It is what it is. They've made their decision. The only way that it would get changed is if somebody within the family would challenge their ruling, which the mom is not going to do. Maybe the dad, maybe the grandpa, I don't know. It may be easier for them to just do the Truckee way and let it go. But if it isn't challenged, then it doesn't feel like justice for Kylie. Autumn Fragrance has accused me of wishing Kylie was murdered, and I don't. And I never thought she was. I don't think somebody intentionally did this to her, other than maybe putting her car in the water or knowing that her car was in the water and leaving her there without trying to help or notifying anybody. I never said that I thought this was a murder. Never. And I would not wish that on this girl. If it was an accident, I just still feel like people could be held accountable for it. And by that, I mean, early on, when they were trying to encourage the teens to come forward and talk, they had said they weren't interested in the drugs and the drinking and things like that. Now, I took that to mean if you were drinking or you were doing drugs out there, we're not interested in prosecuting you for underage drinking or whatever. We just want information about Kylie. But if adults were there, 18 and up, that were providing the drugs and the alcohol and things like that, there should be some accountability there. We know they had those bars set up and Sammy Bono had his Venmo on there to get paid for the alcohol. Things like that could still be done, but they probably won't. We don't have to accept their ruling other than accepting that that's what they are going to say. We can still think what we think, but it's not going to change anything. And in one of her comments, Autumn Fragrance said that she had been spoon feeding me information for months. And to that, in light of all of this, maybe she was trying to spoon feed me the Truckee way. I'm not from Truckee, and I don't do things that way. And someone had made a comment that I thought was very fitting. They said, in Truckee, they eat their own. They've been doing it since the Donner Party. I guess the sacrifice of Kylie's life and having it be ruled an accident in the grand scheme of things for Truckee isn't a big deal. Now everybody can just quit thinking about it, put it behind them, move on with their lives. These kids can go to college and have the lives that they've hoped and dreamed about, even though Kylie doesn't get that same opportunity. You know, Kylie should be in college right now as well, and nobody seems to care about that. It's hard. It's hard to accept, but I think we all knew it was coming, right? And like I said, there's only so much we can do. They're not going to care how much we push back. They're not going to care. And I'm assuming from the reports that I have read that the California Highway Patrol will come up with something that makes this look like an accident as well. You know, I'm hoping to learn the speed that they think she was going when she went into the water. Was the car in neutral? Was it in drive? You know, things like that. But I don't know how much we're going to learn. They don't want us to know anything. The amount that we do know that has been found out without their help has done nothing but make them angry. Them coming out with this report now ahead of the November 1st presser, it's timed perfectly with Megan Cole with the fire cam video. Megan Cole comes out and she starts pushing the accident narrative again. The fire cam video, whether it's real, whether it's fake, at this point, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's out there making us think, oh, look, she drove off into the water. Now, me all along said, if it's real, it still doesn't show me, sorry, who was driving the car when it went in the water, right? So that comes out, and as soon as it came out, I was like, they're going to use this to push the narrative. They're going to use this to say, see, look, she just drove off in the water. The timestamp on one of the videos was 12:33, which is conveniently the last time her phone pinged. However, an iPhone, according to Apple, can last up to 30 minutes when submerged in water. So that's just something else to think about as well. The timing of that could be off. So that's where we're at. This is what we've been given. And they've pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. And this is their final shove. They've put it in writing and put it out there for the world to see. And now they just want us to shut up and go away and mind our own business, go on about our lives. And they may get their way. I mean, I hate this for Kylie. I really do. Because I think there are more answers out there that need to be shared. I think there are more avenues that need to be explored. Some of those, I just pulled up a few examples. So in California, negligent homicide is defined as a criminal offense in which a person commits some act of criminal negligence and it results in the taking of a human life. Criminal negligence refers to a conduct in which a person ignores a known or obvious risk or disregards the life and safety of others. Under California law, negligent homicide cases are charged as involuntary manslaughter per Penal Code 192 BPC. It feels like this fits the description, right? I'm sorry about my voice, guys. If she was in the condition that was reported by all of these people, it came out of Sammy's mouth how drunk she was. It came out of Sammy's mouth that she was drinking with Kylie, all the same drinks, all the same shots. And Sammy herself said she was inebriated too. Elsa talked about how drunk Kylie was. Several people did, right? So they ignored a known or obvious risk of letting her drive. They could have driven her. They could have given her a ride. They could have taken her keys. Disregarding the life and safety of others, you let her leave in that car. She is not only a risk to herself, she could have had an accident with others. And so often in a DUI accident, the drunk driver survives, but they may kill innocent people in another vehicle. So I feel like that's an option. Will it be taken? No, absolutely not. These are some of the examples that were given of negligent homicide: leaving a pit bull with a history of attacks off leash and the animal kills a person, texting while driving at top speeds in a crowded neighborhood and hitting and killing a pedestrian, firing a weapon in the air at a crowded celebration and the bullet strikes and kills a participant. Here's the key, though. These are the defense methods that could be used to defend someone against these charges. Oh, sorry. Oh, crap. I uploaded the wrong thing. Basically, they can say that if it wasn't on purpose, I guess, if the victim died accidentally, or there's not enough evidence to prove it to a jury, that they basically can get off. So I'm sure that they would say, it was just an accident. It was an accident. And even though we have the words out of their mouth on video saying that they knew how drunk she was, they would obviously say, we had no idea she was that drunk. Even though she was so drunk, Sammy was scared to ride home with her, they will say that, no, we didn't realize. So that won't happen. Another charge I thought of was contributing to the delinquency of a minor. There's probably several people that could be charged with that, up to and including Kylie's mom, because we don't know if she knew. And it sounds like everybody there knows that these parties, there was going to be drinking and everything, and she allowed her to go to that party. I'm not slamming the mother. Don't take it that way. I'm just saying that, the adults at the party, it's definitely contributing to the delinquency of a minor by providing that alcohol. And I mean, I know Autumn Fragrance will probably chime in and say her mom contributed to the delinquency simply by extending her curfew and allowing her to drive later than she was supposed to. So those won't be filed either. Guarantee it. They won't be filed because we can't make Truckee look bad. It's the Truckee way. So sorry, this video probably isn't like my normal videos. Not feeling good. It's been a tough week in true crime. We've had a lot of bad news this week, haven't we? Little Quentin in Georgia, Jalissa, it's been a tough week. It's been a tough week, and not feeling good on top of it, it just makes it all a little harder to process. And even though, like I said, I knew this was going to end up this way, it was either going to be an accident or undetermined, and undetermined left too many doors open an accident, I think Truckee feels like that's going to close the door. And like I said, my opinion, and you don't have to agree, is that there could still be foul play involved, even though they've ruled it an accident. And like I said, we've been given this. We don't have to accept it as fact, but we do have to accept that this is their decision. And like I said, I feel like any further action, any further charges, anything like that will not be explored just based on the Truckee Way and the mom. I assume Adventures with Purpose will not release their other videos since this was ruled an accident. And that's unfortunate because I would like to see what they saw that made them feel it was suspicious, because her simply being in the cargo area would not be enough to make it suspicious, because they often find people in the back of their vehicles when they're recovered because they have gone back there for, the air pocket trying to get out. However, in this case, we have a completely open window and a halfway open window, and she still ended up going all the way to the back, but whatever. But I would love to see that footage. I really would. And I think it's unfortunate that we likely will never see it. So let me know how you're feeling about all of this. It's a letdown for sure. It's a letdown for sure. And not because I wish that they said foul play or she was murdered or whatever. Just that I feel like it wasn't taken as seriously as it should have been. I don't feel like maybe they even ever entertained the possibility of foul play. So for now, all I can say is she was let down by a lot of people. She was let down by the investigation, but she wasn't let down for those of us who kept our voices out there loud, crying for justice for Kylie. We didn't let her down. We fought for her. But let me know what you think. And like I said, I hope you're all doing well and you have a wonderful weekend ahead. We may get some rain and some storms, and I really hope so. I'm going to post a video that my husband made of our lake, and it's almost completely dry. We need the rain. It's middle of October, and we're under a fire warning right now. It's crazy. It's so dry. So, as always, thank y'all for spending a little bit of your Friday with me to talk about the latest in the Kylie case. Of course, we'll keep following it. And like I said, I'm going to go over the report a little bit more. Like I said, I took forensics. I took criminal justice. I have pre-med as a major, so I can look at it and interpret it and look things up and maybe come up with a little more clearer answer for us. But for now, it is what it is, y'all. And share the video if you'd like to. Give it a thumbs up, please. Leave me your comments and share it. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would encourage you to do so. If you would like to join in membership, that would be great. I'm going to be putting out a video this weekend about a crazy case that I have been advised not to talk about. But I feel like if I talk about it on a members only video and it's not out there for everyone, that's safe. So for my members, you will get to see the madness that I'm talking about. It's horrific and it needs to be out there. The story was it happened here. It's happening here. It's actively happening here. And it was reported on by the Washington Post. And like I said, I will be bringing that to my members only this weekend. So Until then, everybody, please take care of yourselves, stay safe, and as always, I will see you all in the next one.